maybe in American history, and the most effective mayor for sure. It can happen to you.
How does it feel to be on the other side of the justice system? How does it feel to be on the other side of the justice system?
Sorry, don't interrupt me. I'm making a statement. If they can do this to me, they can do this to you. Well, I'm going to Georgia, and I'm feeling very, very good about it because I feel like I'm defending the rights of all Americans, as I did so many times as a United States attorney. People like to say I'm different. I'm the same Rudy Giuliani that took down the mafia, that made New York City the safest city in America, reduced crime more than any mayor in the history of any city, anywhere. And I'm fighting for justice. I have been from the first moment. I represented Donald Trump, an innocent man who has now been proven innocent several times. I don't know how many times he has to be proven innocent, and they have to be proven to be liars, actually enemies of our republic, who are destroying rights, sacred rights. They're destroying my right to counsel, my right to be a lawyer. They're destroying his right to counsel. It's not accidental that they've indicted all his lawyers. Never heard of that before. In America, all the lawyers indicted. Now, whether you dislike or you like Donald Trump, let me give you a warning. They're going to come for you. When the political winds shift, as they always do, let us pray that Republicans are more honest, more trustworthy, and more American than these people in charge of this government. Because if our government is conducted this way, and the system of justice is politicized and criminalized for politics, your rights are in jeopardy and your children's. Donald Trump told you this. They weren't just coming for him or me. Now they've indicted people in this case. I don't even know who they are. These are just regular people making a normal living. They're going to bankrupt them. They won't convict them.
Ah, yes, the old, if they can prosecute me, they can prosecute you, which is exactly what I was worried about. Because if Rudy Giuliani can't meddle in a free and fair election to overturn the results for the express purpose of installing a corrupt autocrat, then what hope is there for the rest of us? And is that really the world we want to live in? Yeah, that really is the world we want to live in. And of course, this is just Giuliani doing what Republicans do by regurgitating the exact same talking points as Donald Trump. And of course, it already made no sense when Trump said it. Not for nothing, but no one views Donald Trump's compulsion with lying, cheating, and stealing to retain his grip on power as some effort to make himself some martyr for the rest of us. None of us are inciting coups at the seat of government. Donald Trump and his allies are working on behalf of one person. It's not you, it's not me, it's not our families or our friends or our neighbors or anyone. It is Donald Trump. So don't be fooled into thinking that this is about anyone other than him. What's especially interesting is that Giuliani brought up his experience prosecuting criminals as a U.S. attorney. I want to be clear. Being able to prosecute criminals in the past does not absolve you when you become one in the future. In fact, it does the opposite. It proves that Giuliani should know better. I mean, hell, if anyone should be able to recognize the criminality in what Giuliani did by conspiring with Donald Trump to overturn a free and fair election, it's him. It's the guy who was literally prosecuting the exact same kinds of people a couple decades back. This isn't some justification by Giuliani, it's an indictment of him. And by the way, just for posterity here, because Rudy will inevitably frame this as some baseless political prosecution, let's not forget why Giuliani is facing these charges. He spearheaded Trump's efforts to compel state lawmakers in Georgia and other states to ignore the will of the voters in favor of appointing fake slates of electors who would cast their votes for Trump. He created fake paperwork in the appointment of those false slates of electors and pressured those people to violate their oaths of office in doing so. He made false statements and solicited false testimony. He admitted that he lied about two high-profile Georgia election workers, Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, for which he's currently contending with a defamation lawsuit. And all of this was in furtherance of Trump's efforts to steal the 2020 election. So when he claims that he was fighting for justice, which is his common refrain, just know that the way to fight for justice is not by appointing slates of fake electors to illegally replace the slates of real electors while destroying the lives of honest, hardworking poll workers for the crime of doing their jobs. And again, all of these people who should and do know better, Giuliani is at the top of that list. Rudy then goes on to say that he doesn't know how many times Trump has to be proven innocent. I'd venture to guess Just once? Just one single time? And yet, at no point has that ever happened. In fact, it's been the opposite. While Giuliani claims that there's all this justification for appointing false slates of electors because of an election rife with fraud, don't forget that the Trump team didn't prove a single instance of fraud in court where it actually mattered. In more than 60 cases, the Trump team lost every single one, including in front of 9 judges who Donald Trump himself appointed. In fact, at no point have any of Trump's claims been proven true in any venue. So when Giuliani claims that Trump has been proven innocent, when? Where? How? This guy is so lost in the sauce that he just lets words fall out of his face despite their complete detachment from reality. Rudy then goes on to issue a warning to all lawyers that they're gonna come for you. And look, if you're a lawyer, yeah, don't conspire to break the law with your clients. Of all people who should probably know that, it's attorneys. It is illegal now, just like it's always been illegal. And if you are an attorney who does that, then yeah, the bar is probably justified in revoking your law license. If a park ranger sets a forest on fire, they probably shouldn't patrol the parks. If a doctor keeps killing his patients, he probably shouldn't be able to practice medicine. And if an attorney can't stop breaking the law, then he or she probably shouldn't be able to practice the law. Just, for starters. In fact, I spoke about exactly this point with my Democracy Watch co-host and top voting rights attorney in the country, Mark Elias, and he absolutely pulled no punches.
Look, there is something fundamentally broken in the Republican legal establishment. I mean, we just have to take a step back and realize this is not normal. These crimes that took place did not happen over the objection of lawyers. They happened because of Republican lawyers. Donald Trump may have been a raving lunatic in the White House, but he did not have the reach to actually commit several of these crimes, or for that matter, some of the crimes charged in the Washington, D.C. case, without the active participation and in some instance, goading and insistence of Republican lawyers. The Republican Party needs to take a step back and ask itself, what did we do that facilitated the rise of Trump and the embracing of the party to become completely taken by Trumpism? But I have to say, the bar has some introspection to do here as well. There is something wrong in the Republican legal establishment, in the Republican bar, that it has produced lawyer after lawyer after lawyer that have played such varying roles, from the sort of kingpin tough guy role of Rudy Giuliani to the faux constitutionalist of Eastman, to the fake electors scheme person, we've to Sidney Powell. We've seen it in various roles and in these conspiracies, but it's really, really troubling, and it is something that the bar is going to have to reckon with, and the Republican legal establishment is going to have to reckon with.
And finally, one last line out of Rudy Giuliani's mouth that truly made me question whether the Earth was still rotating on its axis.
They're going to come for you when the political winds shift, as they always do. Let us pray that Republicans are more honest, more trustworthy, and more American than these people in charge of this government.
I watched a Republican Trump voter holding an American flag while bludgeoning a police officer who was trying to protect the U.S. Capitol from being breached by a mob that the Republican president incited. The notion that Republicans are patriotic died a long, long time ago. These people are the antithesis of patriots. They are autocrats and liars and cheats. They are gaslighters and con men. They are a shameless criminal enterprise that is lashing out only because they're being held to account for the same laws that they once pretended to give a shit about. Rudy Giuliani may be content to lean on his past to defend his character, but no amount of past virtue will compensate for his abject criminality now. And finally, what better way to end than with a photo of Rudy Giuliani's mugshot? So please enjoy. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to the channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.